Welcome back, generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 Hour to make the best game ever. Good, so what do we do this time? Let's see. I think there's a review from Slormlord. No? Ah, author. Truncate. Length index pair. Length index. Sorting only needs the operator smaller function, right? In that case, remove the others. They're also wrong. So this says larger and this... Ah, okay, actually this is not wrong. This is correct. Not larger, not smaller. Okay, they are actually all correct. Can remove the others. Can move this into the CPP if it is only used there. Let's say okay. On that note, there's actually something that came to my mind. That is, I think we can actually rename the const expr. Oof. Solution. Ah, Jesus. We can actually change this to define const expr. Then we can remove this. Then we can do const expr. Maybe not. It makes it less obvious that if we write like this, then it's less obvious that we cannot omit const. Whereas if we write it with all uppercase, then it's more obvious that we need to keep const here. So I would just say we leave it as is. Yeah, it's probably safer. Yeah, I can remove it in the future anyway. That's fine. Okay, so make length plus index pairs. Index pair, length index. Resize. Sort. Greater, std greater. Std greater. Let's see. Available for truncation, 0. hot press on length. Current tile length. Okay. What? Is this correct? What is the result of assigning -1 to a size t in C++? What is the results value? Results in wraparound due to underflow. So is it FFFFF or how it is? Huh. Okay. Oh. Maybe set I equals 0 here and plus I at the end. The end instead of the for loop. Okay, so current tide length max this. Length of position I. Current tide length. So truncate currents, truncate amount, min, truncate amount, min, length minus current target length. Right. Looks like a very complicated way of calculating. Let me say. Can you write an algorithm that can truncate n amount of characters from an array of strings where every, can you write an efficient algorithm in C++ that can truncate n amount of characters from an array of strings where every, can you write an efficient algorithm in C++ that can truncate n amount of characters? Was it? Yeah, that's the only input, right? The names and the truncate, yeah. Can you write an efficient algorithm in C++ that can truncate n amount of characters from an array of strings, so that every string is truncated fairly, meaning longer strings will be truncated more than shorter strings, or strings end up with about equal remaining characters. Let's see. Longer strings get more characters removed. After truncation, the remaining strings lengths are as close as equal. The algorithm ensures no string is truncated below 0 length. So we have some strings here. N is amount of. The remaining length are. Well, that's not fair. That's not fair at all. Let me revise. Oh my Jesus. Let me clarify with fair truncation. I mean that longer strings are punished more for being longer. Longer strings are punished more for longer strings are truncated more for being longer, but they will not end up shorter than other strings in the array. Strings end up with about equal final length after the truncation. We want to lower the tallest strings first. Yes, keeping their relative length consistent. Never truncating a longer string below a shorter one. Yes. Oof. Fair truncate. Store indices sorted by descending string length. Sort, yeah. Create array of length. Create array of length. While truncate partially. Resize original strings. Interesting that there's another loop inside this loop. There's also a loop inside this loop. Truncate amount equals 0. Length. Okay, so here in this case, in the first iteration, this will be length minus 1. Yeah, so truncation of 1 character essentially. Right, and then we have this length minus this, so this one will be 1, and this whatever amounts, let's say 12. And so this one will be shortened by 1, and this will be shortened by 1. And then it goes down here, and then if this is smaller than current target length, set target length smaller. Current, if it's smaller than if it is smaller, this is smaller. The length of position I max. It's an unexpected implementation, isn't it? Okay, how would I have expected it? Let me look at... Look at the first one. Look at the first. Well, this the way this is now implemented is quite complicated. I'm a bit surprised about this averaging of previous entries. I didn't expect that. Mouse ChatGPT. Is the following implementation? Is the following implementation effectively doing the same? Truncates. Doing the same correctly. Yes, it's essentially correct and aligns with the fair truncation. What it does well, calculates truncation budgets, considering a minimum name length cap, sorts names by descending length, which enables flattening the longest names first, dynamically adjusts the target length based on how many characters are left, applies truncation proportionally but safely, ensuring no string is over truncated, handles edge cases like uneven truncation budgets by computing a seal style distribution. This is equivalent to roundup division, which avoids undershooting. The loop, you're setting I, that's clever and works. Or better. Go to restart loop. Oof. That's not my suggestion. Final fallback. Don't need to change it unless you're optimizing per performance. Clean and correct. Yes, I would like an implementation with optimal performance. Great. We can avoid repeated scanning. Leveling algorithm. Sort strings by length, descending, yes. Flatten in levels. Repeatedly lower the longest group of strings to the highest of the next group. Repeatedly lower the longest group of strings to the height of the next group. Compute how many characters you would save by flattening all strings in that level. If you can afford it, flatten and continue. If not, stop and perform. Oof. Move to next group, flatten a whole group, partial truncation. Sort. Find the next group with a smaller length. Find the next length max reduction. Can you can you explain why this is more performance than the previous implementation? That I have sent. Can you explain why your solution is more performant than the previous implementation that I have sent? Restart loop. Performance implication. The outer while loop may execute multiple full scans of the list ON per scan. The inner loop is restarted every time. This is a valid but costly retry strategy. In the worst case, the target length changes frequently, strings with many different lengths, resulting n squared time complexity. The target length changes frequently. Strings with many different lengths. Example, worst case. If you have n strings with distinct length, it will attempt to lower the longest string to the longest second, to the second longest, then restart, and lower both to the third longest, and so on. Aha, I see. I understand. Yeah, okay. Okay, let me read through this code then here. So it builds these pairs, yeah. Okay. Available for truncation, okay. Sort by descending length. Process and levels. Find the next group with a smaller length. Find the next group with First one. Flatten whole group. Okay. Partial truncation to equal target. Cut extra. Okay, flatten whole group. Ah, okay. So it iterates from, right. So it flattens. So if it reaches a string that is shorter, then it flattens the group above it, right? Keeps flattening more and more. That makes sense. Flatten whole group. Partial truncation. If cost is smaller, and here it's done, then to me this reads really intuitive. Yeah. So if group size max reduction, yeah. So if we can truncate the whole group above the string that we are currently at, if we just flatten that whole thing. Otherwise, if we kind of reach the end and there's not much left to truncate, then there will be a partial truncate here. Yeah. Which will truncate, cut minus equal extra. Cut, extra, cut. Truncate amount. 0. Okay, and it reads, I don't fully understand this here yet, but like logically on a high level, it makes sense. The way that it groups it, it sounds efficient, it seems efficient, so I would give this a try. Yeah. Let me copy this. I inquired with ChatGPT about it. Can you give that a try? So. ChatGPT. And we also copy the other one. Copy. Oof. Why does it contain HTML? What is this? Can we get this answer without HTML formatting? Maybe we can't. Huh, it works though. Okay. It works. Let's compare the performance characteristic. Let's see how it looks. Preview. Okay, let's remove this here. Okay. Okay. Good. Then let's check if I need to work on any of my own changes. This one. This one is okay, but needs to be replicated later. I think I catched up on everything. Two. Redeploy occupants. Redeploy occupants. Ensure our contents are positioned correctly. What? What is this? Ensure our contents are positioned correctly. Containing. Redeploy occupants on containing. Redeploy What does that mean? Just ate something. What is that? Okay. Put object at next fire point. Yeah. On containing. I guess this adds a rider or just got eaten. Just ate something. On containing. Transport contain, on containing, open contain, place an audio. Garrison contain, on contain. Okay, so if we run this, yeah. Pull mismatch. Okay. We probably want to look into that this session, next session. Pull mismatch, yeah. Okay, so we need a map with garrisons. Okay. Call stack. Track targets. Contain list. Redeploy occupants. Garrison points initialized. to contain. Okay. So for some reason, trigger an on-containing event. Redeploy occupants. Redeploy occupants. Okay. So the way I understand it is that redeploy occupants means that, so this is probably called because there are already guys inside eventually, right? If we put soldiers into the house, there can already be other occupants inside. So if one guy enters, then it will redeploy occupants for some reason, and that will put object at next fire point. Redeploy the occupants. We are starting at the last occupant and going backwards to the start. That reflects the order in which they actually went into the building, since all list building constructs at the head. Since all list building, I have no idea what that means. Okay, so the question is redeploy occupants meant to be called after we put the new guy in or before we put the new guy in? That's, I think, the important question. How do we figure that out? Because the state has changed, we must give the deploy logic the opportunity to look for a new set of bonus in the art. What? So if we had them flagged as not having any before, we want to check at least one more time again. If fire point starts -1. Redeploy the occupants. Now that we are starting at the last occupant. Okay, how about we figure first out what does it mean if the garrison points are not initialized? What does that mean then? Where is this set to true? Load garrison points. There we go. Load garrison points. Okay, why is this not called like on initialization of the thing? I don't know. Who's calling this function? Now that we have an object inside us, we need to get all the garrison point positions if we don't already have them. So it's like an on-demand loading. I see. So I guess the bug of this could be so if we put one guy in there, garrison points are not initialized there. We try. So if we shoot now, but he has a garrison point. Shooting is fine. Huh. So there's no there's no visual bug out of this. It just works anyway. Load Garrison points. You know what? Maybe this function here, redeploy occupants, should only be called let me get the match objects to Garrison points. Why does it enter here when the contain list is empty? We didn't add a guy yet, right? Why is there someone in there? Can we unoptimize this file maybe? Let's restart this. Ignore. Caustic. So. Why is there a guy inside? What is this? So he actually was added here, add to contain list. Okay, so he is already in there. Okay, I see. Okay, he's already in there. Okay. Ensure our contents are positioned correctly. And so what is the consequence if this is not initialized? Can we check? Objects, index -1, Garrison index invalid. Okay. So if we put a breakpoint here, oof. Why is this called so often? Huh? It's called every frame? Jesus. That's unexpected. Every frame this method is called. Huh. Ah, because they can move around. I see. What is this? Redeploy occupants. Okay. I think the fix makes sense, yeah. Yeah. Probably, unless this function here expects that this has already happened, right? So it works on the structure here. Set status. Yeah. Okay, position. trigger an on-containing event. On-containing, right. On-containing. Who's the writer? Writer. This looks pretty innocent. Objects. Set position. Okay, let's move it down here and test how it plays, if there's any bug. Oops. So if this is called what was the error again? I already forgot. It called in somewhere. I already forgot where exactly. I don't know. Garrison points, position. So these are initialized with 0 in the constructor. I see. So I guess the bug is that user facing, I mean, the user won't really notice, but I think that maybe there's like a one frame discrepancy where the Garrison doesn't have the initialized fire points, Garrison points. And so the first guy that enters from one frame is not at the correct position, and then only in the next frame afterwards, when the Garrison points are there, then he assumes the correct position. That's my assumption here. Yeah. Structure get position. So initially the Garrison points are 0. So it wouldn't even shoot for a frame. Interesting. So that means it could shoot from 0 then maybe. Is that a thing? Shoot from 0? Garrison point conditions. Max Garrison points. 40. Whoa, that's a lot. Okay, 40. 40 makes sense. 10 for each side of a house, right? Yeah. So maybe I put a bookmark here. So when we are in here, let's put a bookmark here. Okay, so if we call we first call redeploy occupants, put object at next fire point. Set position pos. No fire points in art. True. Okay, actually let's move it back. Yeah. Let's put a breakpoint here. Let's see what happens when we put the first guy in the house and it calls in there. Like, where does he go? And does he stay there? For how long? Probably one frame, right? So my assumption is that he stays at position 0. So literally on 0 position in the map. And maybe he would even be able to shoot from the from 0, 0. If target acquirements can work that fast. I don't know if units can shoot instantly from garrisons as soon as they enter, or if there's some targeting periods. Okay, so we put them in there, and then we step in here, and so garrison data, they should all be at 0, right? Let me see. Copy the current set of garrisons point. Oof. Oof. Track targets. redeploy occupants. Add valid objects to Garrison points. Huh. Okay. Okay, get object Garrison point index. Okay, so it won't put the guy at the Garrison points. Because this guy let me step back here. So this object is not yet okay. Okay, I still don't see where he's added to the Garrison position. Where's that happening? Yeah. Put object at Garrison point. When is this called? When we shoot. Put object at Garrison point. Okay. still don't understand what the bug would be. Unclear to me what the exact user-facing issue would be. It maybe is in a wrong state for a single frame only. Is it even worth it to try understand what the issue would be? It's probably absolutely inconsequential, right? Because it will self-correct and then the guys will shoot. So it's probably something really minor that the guy cannot shoot for a frame, or could it be more sinister that the guy can shoot from 000 for one frame? I'm not sure. How do we find it out? I have an idea. We start a second client. Yeah. Start a second client. And we matchmake these together in a multiplayer session. Oops. Whoa. Whoa. What is this? Huh? What? What happened? I've never seen that. What is that? What? There must be some debug mode. How? How? I have no idea how we entered this mode. What is this? Must be some debug feature. We cannot. I cannot scroll. Oh, I can. What is this? What is this? Can we stop it? How do we stop this? What is this? I pressed all the F keys. I pressed a bunch of buttons. My gosh. I have no idea what is this. Let's exit. Good. Let's go into multiplayer network. Default local IP. Okay, so network, create game. Accept. Oof. Email slot number. What is this? Slot -1. Update game options. Okay. So let's go to Bitter Winter. I think that's a good map for this test. Okay, so basically what I would like to do is put Jesus Christ. It still is wrong. How did that happen? Oh, that snow is wild. I really have no clue how we entered this mode here. I hope it is a debug and not a bug. I've never seen this, so it must be some kind of debug. I have no idea. Let's restart the game then. Good, so create a game. Bitter Winter. And so what I think we should do, we take the green guy and we move him down here, which will take forever. Then we take this guy. Yeah. Okay, take this guy and build a power plant here. Let me build some more things here. Yeah. Okay, so basically I would like to see if I put a guy in there, will he be able to shoot from 0, 0, 0 here, which is here? Will he be able to shoot on this dozer or not? So the dozer is parked here, ready to be killed, yeah. And so we take a rocket soldier and put them into the house for the first time, right? Let's see. Okay, we got the assets. Okay. Nothing happened. Okay. Now, what happens if we let's say we built a bunker down here so that the bunker would actually be in reach of the dozer. So we built a bunker here, and then we put a rocket soldier in there and see if he shoots from 0, 0, 0. That would be my last theory here. Let me disable the assert though, because if we have the assert, it's hard to see. We put this guy in there. Ignore yes, ignore yes. Okay, so we put this guy into the bunker, and then we check if the rocket comes from 0 or from the bunker. Let's see. No, it works normally. Okay, so as far as I can tell, there's no bug. Yeah, it just works. Then I would say no retail, fix, minor. There's no bug. I was unable to find any user. I was unable to find or theorize about any user-facing bug with this. I tried to make a Garrison shoot onto enemies from 0, 0, 0, but that does not happen. Perhaps it is the Garrison is just in an incomplete state for one frame, and the attack a bit delayed because of it. Either way, it appears to be negligible. Yeah. The consequence of this fix, consequence of fixing this appears to be negligible. I don't think it's a stability concern. Fix looks okay. Fix looks okay in principle. Put it in that. Player restriction. Using everyone. Of course, there's a bug on the shear sound. Of course. Everything is bugged in this game. Okay. Redeploy occupants. Put object at next fire point. Yeah. So let me put the breakpoint here one more time. So it doesn't actually go in here, it goes in Garrison contain redeploy occupants. I was looking at the wrong function all the time. Actually, if we look at the game logic, so the current frame is 2341. So I wonder if this function is called again in the same frame or in the next frame. So here track targets will fail now, right? Because the Garrison points are not initialized, right? So this will fail here. The assert is strangely placed. Could have put it outside of the for loop. Let me say, you can also move the out of the for loop. -1. Okay, so if you press F5, okay, so it's called in the next frame. Okay, so there could be a one frame discrepancy of some sort. I don't know. Maybe not. Like, it depends if, like, even if we have the Garrison points initialized, would this be able to do anything the first time it's called? Maybe. Wow, it's updating every Garrison. Every frame. Okay. So the more houses you put into a map, the more updates there will be. Every frame. Okay. Well, hopefully it's not too expensive. Yeah, I don't know if there's user-facing issue or not. It's really not clear, but it seems there's not. And if, then there's only like a one frame discrepancy of some sort, and we probably don't care. Who knows? Who knows? It's really hard to say what this bug is. Yeah, I don't know. I think it doesn't matter. Oh, what is this? Oof. Oof. Okay. Okay. Okay, so the DirectX call has failed. Huh. Okay, that's unexpected. Huh. Just load. Temporary adjusting LOD. What did I do? How did I change LOD? I must have pressed some key, some debug key during debugging. What is this? What is this? Jesus Christ. Ugh. Oof. Set texture LOD. Set texture LOD. Okay, so who is calling this? Meta demo LOD decrease. Okay, and who is posting this? Oh, it is there. Oh. Equal, key equal. Okay. So there are actually demo key mappings that are active. Look at that. Oof. Oof. This file will not be shipped. Well, that worked beautifully, didn't it? Okay, anyway, so there is a bug. Oof. 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 Oh, that looks amazing. Let's take a look at these guys. So, debug object ID performance. What is this? Shift Alt Control Q. Okay. Time to run. Okay. 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 So a little performance measurement. Interesting. Debug drawable ID performance. Key A. Some costs. Yeah. Okay. Debug sleepy update performance. Control W. Number of sleepy modules. Okay. It's kind of weird debug. Demo win means you win, I guess. Toggle debug stats. Control Q. Control Q. Oh, okay. Control Q. Let's move this here to the center. Okay. Toggle behind buildings. F11. Okay. F11. Okay. Okay. Toggle black and white view. Control F10. Oh. And it froze. Okay, well, that didn't work well. Actually, it does. Okay, so you can see the triangles. Oh, that's nice. Looks sweet. So that is F10. Control F10. Well, who can remember this? If you do it too fast, then it doesn't work correctly. Red view. Control F11. Why? Why is this? Why is this a thing? Red view. Green view. Key F12. Huh. Why? Why would you want it to be green? I don't understand. Is there also a blue mode? No. Toggle motion blur zoom. Control F9. Oof. What was this? What? What is this? Okay. Switch teams. Control, Shift Control. Let me make it larger so you can also read it. Space, shift control space. Oh. 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 You can change the player on runtime. That's funny. This guy can't see much. This one is the observer. So you can observe while playing. Now I can't use this guy. Oh. That's funny. That's funny. Switch teams, China, USA. What? Okay. Toggle metrics, L, control L. Doesn't do anything. Dump assets. Shift control A. Shift control A. Okay. Toggle vision debug. Shift Alt V. Shift Alt V. Oof. Oh, that's useful. That's nice. That's nice. Let me take a screenshot of that. That's actually pretty cool. So you can see how far can someone look. Or so. What does it say? Vision debug, yeah. Projectile debug. Shift control B. Shift control B. I don't know how that is useful. That's weird. It's weird that they draw on the terrain. It looks like they didn't really have an auxiliary renderer. That's weird. Yeah. Particle debug. Control P. Total particles. Okay, on screen. Oh, that's actually useful, yeah. To see like how much particles are there. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So, Control Shift V. Shift Alt V. Okay. Cache map debug. Control O. Oof. What is this? What? Cache map? Oh. I guess this means like what position is valuable? The greener, the more valuable it is. Ah. I see. So this command center is valuable. Now let's build some, I don't know, this. Let's build some helicopters. As you can see, more green means more valuable. So this is now a very valuable target for the AI to shoot on. And this one is a less valuable target. Okay, that's cool. Let's take a screenshot. Okay, that's interesting. This is control. Man, there's a lot of debugs here. How about we keep looking next session? That's very interesting. Good. I think I will take a break here. It has been 2 hours 30. Oof. 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 Yeah. Good. I'll take a break here. Wish you a great day or night. Until next time. Goodbye.